The reason you self-sabotage yourself, self-sabotage, is simply because class is something you learn along the way. You're born into a particular class. It's kind of elusive, depending. But you might start to pay attention at some point. Well, other people live in different realities. They have different stuff, different things they can do. And so at some point you grow into a possibility of actually evolving out of the class that you saw. And it's scary because it's like learning a new language. So the self-sabotage usually occurs right at that point, where it's like, I'm about to be successful in a way where no one I've ever seen can support me with. We kind of have a reference point for what's possible based upon those early models we had. So if you had successful parents, well, you saw a possibility. It didn't necessarily mean you followed it, but you saw the possibility. So whatever the class is that you grow up in, it's almost like you have to kind of go through a hurdle where you're like, oh, I've never been here, and no one I know has been here. And it's okay, I'm worth it. You're worth all the fucking money you can create in your life. It's just believing that. And knowing that it's going to be challenging every time you come up against it. The other thing too is that there's a fear of happiness. So you have, let's say you called this your dream job. So you have this dream job idea, and obviously whatever our anticipation is of reality, that's a guess. So you may have built this huge picture, and one of the things that may be causing this hesitation is, what if you get in there and you find out it's not the dream job, because you find out it's just this ordinary, gotta pee, gotta poop, gotta eat, gotta drink, gotta watch out for everything that's flying around. We're just moving piles around. So if you're moving piles you really like, then you're going to have a good time. But you just have to be open to sort of the reality of not having full control. So that when you go into this new situation, just be curious more than anything. I mean, that's just a suggestion. If we're curious about what's coming, which is going to come right here. What's coming? Here it comes. Whatever it is. The wind. I mean, it's whatever's catching our eye. But I don't know for certain. So if I'm willing to stay right here and just be open, well, at least I'll live life somewhere. Because if you get whatever you want, you're still going to be there. I really want my own little space. I can feel it. Because there's things I want to do. I want to draw, and I want to write, and I want to make things, and I want to... But it's like, if I hold so tightly to that, like, okay, well, that's when I'll be happy. Then sitting right here is somehow, I'm not supposed to be here. So it's almost like you can feel into that feeling of, well, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm about to get what I want. I'm not supposed to be here. You worked really hard for this, and you're worth it, and you deserve it. It just won't lead you to ultimate happiness. It might make it really fun to exist for a while. When I worked at the climbing gym, it was like every day it was frickin' recess. I mean, it was awesome. But even that, after a while, was like, okay, I've done that. What else? So it just depends on your personality. But if you can, just know that self-sabotage is really a normal thing, and that the difference between people who get what they want and don't are the ones who just go, oh yeah, I've never been here before, and just step forward instead of step backwards. Just really be curious. And relax a little bit of that, you have to know everything ahead of time. Because that's what stresses us out. It's just like, I gotta know everything in case somebody asks me a question. I don't appear to be stupid or just here. Oh, I'm just here, I don't know. Teach me what you want me to know. Lately I've been asking Sandra to guide me. Like I bought an ice cream cone today, and I was like, how would you eat this? Will you guide me? And she just straight up like, oh my God, I've never eaten anything like that. It was so cool. So like in new situations, that kind of like willingness to be a totally humble student is available. And that can help with a little bit of the anxiety of, getting into positions of Not authority necessarily, but just sort of more creativity. It's exciting, you know? You're on an adventure. This is like just look, just watch Benjamin Button a couple times and then go, "Oh shit, that's this." I mean, it's awesome. You're on an adventure. So step into the adventure because the worst thing that happens is you end up right here. I know it's easy to say, but really, just think about it. The worst thing that could happen is you'd find out that it's not your dream job, and you'd end up right here with all that possibility still sitting in your lap. I mean, you could do anything today. You go, okay, dream job, sure, but I'm just going to walk to New York. I mean, you really, you can do anything. Whatever you can think of, you can actually do, given your ability to move, your mobility. And if you can't move, then you can still do stuff. You're just going to have a little bit limited range, unless you play with your imagination, and then it's endless. It's just cool, you know? It's so cool. You're on an adventure. So just know you might come up against class, and you might come up against the fear of happiness, and you might come up against realizing that when you project the ideal thing in the front, eventually you might get it, and all of a sudden it's not like the front disappears, and you're still here with like, well, shit, what's next? So just know that that's just also part of how we work. And if you're curious to the whole entire phenomena of being alive, well, that's obviously the most relaxing place to be. You know, understand that if you really want to dance, right now is the best time ever. If you want to sing, if you want to stretch, if you want to move, if you want to laugh, if you want to wiggle, if you want to kiss somebody, if you want to say thank you to somebody, if you want to apologize for something, I mean, now or never. You know, it's just incredible. This is the edge of our life. You're awesome.